and it was concerning when it started to get a little too slow.
I have a feeling it could be also the struggle of identity, because at the beginning of the split, Talon Esports was one of the slowest, if not the slowest team in the PCS. After seeing so many former LMS squads evolve into, you know, acquiring the same style as some of these LSD teams that we have in the tournament, it felt like they had to struggle, they had to deviate, and we've seen that so far in, you know, one of the Karthus jungles, like the Lucian mid from Candy, and I feel like that struggle in identity is sort of possibly creating clashes within the roster.
Well, look at these target bans coming out here from Nova. Warlock says, we don't want to see River on the Rek'Sai, and we don't want to see Candy on the Zoe. Maybe they'll try and lock down more of the mid lane pool if they wish to target it. Lots of picks open, though. If they don't ban Senna here, that means Aphelios or Senna makes it through the draft, likely.
This could be another explosive draft. We just came from a complete plot twist of a draft from our HK and Resurgence game. It could happen again between these two teams. Talon has a history of picking either a Justy. Okay, Aphelios open.
Aphelios is open. Does Mixed Cross play it, though? Is the question. Do you trust Mixed Cross on this champion?
Well, looks like they're not picking it, though, because they're hovering over that misfortune right now. Talon basically said, I challenge you. We're going to give it to you, but I bet you won't.
I bet they will. I think Unified will absolutely love having the Aphelios.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I meant for Talon, rather. They're challenging Nova Esports to take it.
Yeah, okay. Because, yeah, the misfortune lock, and man, if it's Mixed Cross that just isn't confident on the champion, that is going to be such a hurdle, especially if Unified is able to get the ball rolling here as they lock in the Aphelios for Talon.
Set is actually open as well, so that could be for Hanabi, or he can fall back to the Ornn.
Do it. Do it.
Do
Satisfy.
it. Do it.
Please. I know you're playing with my heart, Talon. Likely not going to see any fiddlesticks here today, as it's going to be River back on the Lee Sin.
We're back on the Lee Sin. I remember the matchup back then when Nova Esports and Talon Esports last fought each other was Ryan was on the Sejuani, River was on the Jarvan. Quite similar, I suppose, but in terms of escape tools, you have the Lee Sin being more available, being more of that. You know, Nova? Well, lock in G4 is Azir. Nova has been having a standard ban, or a standard picking phase so far. Even having set on Rocky. Rocky on a set. This is... I don't think I've ever seen this before.
Again, this could also be a support set.
We
have seen it before. G4, though, going more onto the control mage of the Azir. I like what I see. I'm liking the team fight potential from Nova. I speak about team fight, though, and they get themselves the Ornn on the side of Talon.
So many comfort picks. Not only comfort picks, but power picks in the current meta, having that Aphelios, and as well as the Ornn, which has been Hanabi's, you know, he has been picking that most of the time, and look at that, Talon Esports have huge respect to Ryan, removing that Sejuani that clearly destroyed River's early game in their previous match.
So with that, no Sejuani and no Kench, because Kench shall be benched. G4 gonna get, well, he's likely on that Azir. The J4 is gonna be banned out by Talon. So again, trying to lock down some of the jungle picks that Ryan can go ahead and pick.
Okay, so Nova Esports still has the Gragas option. That still would be available. We haven't seen the best of performances coming from the Gragas champion in general, but it does fit the whole concept of what Nova wants to pull off here.
All right, no Nautilus being available here for Nova, so kind of interested now. What do they wish to pick on the side here of Talon? Maybe go for the Alistar. The Talia? Okay. Talia lock-in.
Mid lane.
Likely going here for Candy.
Yes, indeed. As we've already seen the Lee Sin. And now, for Nova Esports, what support? And, well, it could be set support. Yes, if they lock this in.
Oh, no. Oh, boy.
It's currently at 0% win rate, has been picked 3 times. Now this is the 4th. It's gonna be a Skarner.
Whoa, okay.
Aha.
Ryan gonna be on the Skarner.
Okay. All right. We've seen Skarner once. It didn't work out so well. Because, you know, as a Skarner, it's a little bit sort of telegraphed. You can see how linear a Skarner would come from. It's not exactly like a Zac, a Lee Sin, a Rek'Sai, or a Gragas, or a Sejuani that can just leap through things. You have to be, you will need your flash to be effective. And at this point, I'm still not sold on the Skarner pick, but if I look at it, there's a lot of low mobility champions over at Talon Esports.
That is, yeah, that is true. You could easily try and get on top of the Aphelios, try and lock him down with some CC. Talia also, in theory, doesn't have a whole lot of mobility. She can get around the map, but it takes time for her to set up her ultimate, so she can easily get locked down. The only slippery one is mainly that Lee Sin of River. I have to see, though. I heard the tie casters behind us go crazy, so we might be having some pocket picks come out from Nova that, you know, just maybe not aware of as far as specialty goes. But we're going to have a Skarner once again. We had one Skarner so far in the PCS. I believe it was yesterday, actually.
Nice.
It was Epic, actually, that ended up picking the Skarner. We didn't get to see a whole lot of that Skarner, unfortunately. So maybe Ryan could try and secure the first win for the champion in the PCS.
This will work indeed if Nova Esports manage to slow down the laning phase. And because if I look at it, Talon Esports, actually this could be their game. Talon Esports likes to play slow, laning phase a little bit longer. You do have Hanabi in the top side of the map, therefore not exactly like a Renekton or something else that they want to bolster. This could be the game for Nova.
We'll see. We also got ourselves Rocky on his Aatrox, a nice comfort pick. He likes to go aggressive during the lane phase, so maybe he can try and open up a lead over Hanabi. We saw it almost happen in the last game that Talon played, where Hanabi was kind of put down low and got camped. Maybe that's the plan here for Ryan, is try and lock down the Ornn. Either way, we're going to go ahead, jump in onto the Rift for our 6th game of the night.
6th game, this is their 2nd time facing each other. Last time that happened, Nova Esports just totally destroyed.
I thought it was Talon that took home the victory.
I thought it was Nova.
I thought it was Talon.
My mistake. Huh, what was that game where River was 2 levels behind?
That was, I think, the other game that Talon lost. That might have been the Machi series.
But it was Riot on the Sejuani last time. I must be confusing my
game.
game.
No, because that was Kongya he was against. On.
Oh, okay. My apologies. I've been mixing my games.
Apologies there. Apologies. I was wondering. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that Nova lost this game. But it is very crucial for both of these squads to actually take home the victory. Nova taking the win could look to force a tiebreaker, and that would also put Talon down to 7-6. You say that was going to be their score at the end of the week? I'd call you crazy.
Because of how they performed really consistently, how they performed really well during the early phases of the PCS, and now it's a totally different story. They've fallen behind.
Like, this is nearing a winless week for them, and they played 4 games.
They've lost against 8th place J-Team earlier.
J-Team was able to take home the victory off a composition, which, you know, we were kind of hoping we'd see more out of Talon, but they just never really came to life in that game. There's also a little fun fact between these two squads and organizations. Talon is based in Hong Kong. Nova, though it does have a Thai roster primarily, it's actually located on Hong Kong, their base of operations. So we have a mini Battle of Hong Kong as well, similar to what we saw with Talon and Hong Kong Attitude. So this is also a little bit of a tussle once again.
And on top of that, Nova Esports and Talon Esports are both new to the League of Legends scene. They've made waves in other esports titles as well, so that's also an interesting angle to look at this matchup.
Although we want to see where Ryan intends to path here. He's kind of gate-kept until about, you know, level 6. Level 6, though, he'll have his ultimate. He'll also have the Predator. I want to see him likely try and target down Candy. I think that's the easiest lane for him to gank. And honestly, like, Talon's vision game, especially in the last game, it was pretty rough. So I think there's opportunities here for Nova to go for it.
Oh, level 3.
Might go for level 3. Hanabi is hard to get without the Bellows Breath, but he might end up using it in this trade. Let's see. No, Ryan goes over toward the side, already using it, so the stun is going to land immediately. Hanabi forced the flash away. That's the flash underneath tower! And Ryan is not able to finish the kill. That is not the start you were looking for.
All right, that is a rough start, but it is just an early flash, which he will need.
He will hope for.
He will hope for.
As let's take another look here. So Hanabi ended up using the breath a little early, so the stun could go through from Ryan.
Indeed, and that was an easy setup for the stun. But flash, Ryan flashing auto attacks. Oh no!
So Hanabi with the extra little bit of health coming in from his refillable, and as well as the Doran shield, just enough regen to keep him alive. As Ryan, there we go. I like seeing this from Ryan, going for the invade.
And that's the thing with River here stealing the Krugs. We only have that really small Krug left for Ryan. And it was the immediate response, you know, seeing the enemy jungler at the other side of the map, might as well deny something out of that. Meanwhile, there's not a lot of, you know, the usual Raptor ward or something for Nova Esports to spot out where River is going to be. They did know that the Krugs has been taken, so he's at the lower portion of the map for sure.
Yeah. Coming in here, you actually see how both of these junglers have had to actually make impacts for their team, especially Ryan, mainly in that, you know, dominating performance that they were able to put on in the early game against Kongya and AHQ. This time, trying to go for a play immediately. Love to see it. Now he's got his Predator boots, though, so you'll have that extra little bit of move speed to try and go for a play maybe on Candy. That's mainly the lane that's easiest for him to gank.
Agreed. Talon bot lane, though, could be a possible option for yourself, as you do want to utilize the set support as well. There's just a lot of crowd control you can work around with.
Though getting a little concerned already for Mixed Cross, we wondered how this matchup would go playing into the Aphelios. And maybe, you know, he just doesn't play it all that often. Maybe he didn't plan on playing it today. Instead, they gave it on over to Unified. They'd opted in for the Misfortune. And you can already see a bit of a CS gap starting to form between the two. Already 2 waves down at 5 minutes. Not the ideal scenario you want to be in. And he actually got forced back out of lane. And he ended up having to buy only 2 longswords.
I think this has been a trend for Mixed Cross in general. The first back, not exactly what they intended, especially coming against, you know, star AD carry players on the opposite side. But team fight-wise, Mixed Cross has definitely improved. So that is definitely what Nova Esports want to bank on and want to rely on, since that is how their team works anyway. If, you know, the rocky part of the map doesn't work out, the G4 portion doesn't work out either, then they have the 5v5s.
That's hopefully the play that they're going for here. But you gotta see that the composition is a lot more pick oriented.
It is.
So to see them already starting to fall a little bit behind here and there, especially in that bot lane, like historically, Mixed Cross has always been behind in CS. Especially like here in this matchup, that means on average every 10 minutes, Unified should naturally have a 20 CS advantage over Mixed Cross, and he's already been able to almost do that at half that amount of time.
Which has been the trend, I suppose, for Mixed Cross, especially Unified on this Aphelios. So therefore, Nova Esports better rush to shut down bot lane of Talon with the power of Ryan on the Skarner. Will Talon allow that, though? That is the question, because you can counter that with deep wards or just plain good vision control.
We'll see. They could possibly. Vision, though, has been an issue for Nova in the past. A lot of our underperforming teams, when it comes to the PCS, Vision has been a bit lackluster, is the best way to put it. Especially on the other game there we saw, they were trying to, you know, find flanks here and there. I'm even talking about Talon here, because they've actually suffered from it a bit themselves, especially this week, where they're looking at the possibility of going winless for 4 games straight.
Definitely a tough one for Talon Esports, or rather for Nova Esports. Talon, in the meantime, they look to have based on the draft, they seemed very confident. So I would like to assume that the reset has happened. Again, Lee Sin, haven't seen him gank just yet. This could be the time. Waves are actually balanced. Always meeting at the middle for top and mid. Meanwhile, a little bit priority for Unified and Kaiwing.
They see, though, with that priority, they're going to go ahead and easily just take this dragon. They burst it down pretty quick. Ryan was actually back in the base, and he's now only just coming out of the gate. So it doesn't mean it's going to be rather easy for him to actually try and respond with a Rift Herald, as Candy's going to show himself. Kaiwing, River. Oh, here we go. That's instantly going to go for the play. G4, though, tried to go for the Emperor's Divide, but ended up caught on the wrong side as he's going to get taken down. Unified also using the Moonlight Vigil, able to get a little bit extra damage and the root, but first blood in favor of Talon.
That was supposed to be a beautiful Shurima drift. And unfortunately, two of the other extra members of Talon Esports were already lying and waiting for G4 to make a play. So this is actually a good read. And it didn't even hit. So that is quite unfortunate. It was stylish, but not effective.
Yeah, unfortunately, both teams had the same idea. Talon, though, brought a couple more members to the party. Is, though, going to be the Rift Herald started up by Nova. Impressively, it looks like River just wanted to let go of control there. That could have been an easy translation over to a first Rift Herald on top of that first Drake. Maybe they're just not confident enough, considering that Rocky's already been very aggressive in the lane. Honeybee isn't that far behind. Does have Call of the Forge God, so it looks like Nova are going to be able to take this without any answer from Talon.
Agreed. I was expecting them to take that as well, knowing the fact that no one was actually very low in Talon Esports. We could actually use the Weaver's Wall as well to zone out any sort of attempt from Nova Esports to take that Rift Herald and contest that. I want to go back to that mid lane, though, because Candy seemed like he got a read of what G4 was going to do. It's like they have already sort of figured out the attitude in lane of a potential outplay or a flashy play in the Azir. We've seen a couple of really nice Azir plays in general in the PCS.
Well, the timing worked well because something must have been up because Ryan, that was right when he hit level 6. And we said,
that's true.
Nova are going to probably strike. So, maybe seeing, hey, G4's being a little bit aggressive. Maybe the Skarner's nearby. So, maybe I just step up into him and I'm able to dodge that away as Kaiwing able to spot Ryan heading back to the base. So, that'll let Talon actually get some ward coverage into the jungle. And it's a 1,500 gold lead.
A lot of D-wards happening here against Nova Esports. The thing is, you see Kaiwing loving these, hold that thought.
G4, Seismic Shove is going to land. River is waiting. And meanwhile, because of the amount of time that Ryan has had to spend trying to wait for these lanes to make a play, he's actually 2 levels down at this point. River's been able to farm up, go for another invade, and get more vision down, spend more time ganking, and is still ahead in levels when it comes compared to Ryan.
It has something to do with the early game takes of River, stealing away a lot of camps. This could be a gank.
Predator's going to be popped. Candy's just going to kite back, and guess what? Ryan's waiting. Nova don't even know that Ryan's in the bush, and they're still backing off here.
This is a toughie because, again, Skarner, he's spotted out. Both of them are on the wrong side of the map.
G4, Ryan?
Huh?
Hello? What's the plan here? Kaiwing's going to come on down. It's a nice, beautiful double. Fate brought down into the double knock-up. Candy able to clean up a double kill. And in what realm? I have to ask here for Nova. Was that the call to make?
I am actually not very sure because I didn't really see any reason to go there except to probably put down a control ward, which I think was the plan because there was one right near the Raptor camp. No, wait, it was there.
Yeah, they just see G4, so they know.
They know.
Oh, I have to question Nova what the plan was here, but in the end, yeah, easy double kill for Candy.
Seismic shove towards the stun on Kaiwing. The thing is, they know Kaiwing has been, you know, always roaming about, which means Unified is quite open for the potential pickoffs. Again, this is a slow laning phase, which Nova Esports would really like to take. Especially that's the reason why they picked up the Skarner anyways, because they know how slow Talon plays.
And River gonna go ahead. Gets a quick Q over on Pop. Face Breaker gonna be used in response. But you can see immediately, Talon, I'm liking this aggression. I like them trying to get into the jungle. I like them catching out Pop here if they can. Looks like it's going to be a back off as the Make It Rain is just enough to dissuade them from advancing, likely into a bullet time from Mixcross if they decided to. I want to draw attention, though, back down to that bot lane. Already an item discrepancy between the two AD carries. It's almost a 30 CS lead now for Unified. This is pretty much what we were expecting of this matchup. And Talon are going to be able to pick up their second Drake.
Oh, top side, though.
Called Forge God comes out from Hanabi. He's at least going to try here, I assume. Infernal Chains, unstoppable, but he's going to get suppressed. Unfortunately, he's going to be just stacked up and taken down. Rocky finds his first kill and gets Nova on the board.
There you go. We have also that win condition in Nova Esports. If the Skarner doesn't work out for that bottom lane, constant ganking, then perhaps you can take on, give that to Rocky as he's going to acquire one kill. There's a couple of games where the success, the victories, come off of, you know, Rocky just taking off the top side of the map.
Now let's take a look here, because Rift Herald's popped, so Hanabi wants to try and at least maybe clear out the wave, try and do something what best he can, but maybe sticks around for a little bit too long, because that's still a tanky Skarner and Aatrox.
Tanky Skarner, you do have the Rift Herald tanking the tower hits too. So that's what gives Nova Esports a little bit more bravery to enter and just reel in Hanabi. Meanwhile, Luden's Echo already completed for Candy, so that's going to be a huge spike for Candy, especially all of these combos being laid out.
On top of that, when you look over across the board toward G4, he's actually kind of had to go split in his item build. He was hoping to go Nashers. Now he's kind of, you know, do I go Ludens? Do I go Nashers? He's got both of the core components for each one. They just don't mix well.
Exactly, and that is quite unfortunate for G4. Not the best of starts you want to see, especially one of the star players of Nova. He did try to make one play, a flashy one at that. But after that, Candy, 3-0-0 right now. Obviously, cannot do those things unless you have either two completed items.
It's also going to get to a point where this Aphelios is going to continue to just keep on scaling throughout the game. We haven't even seen him in action yet, but now it is close to a 40 CS lead in favor of Unified.
Yep, Essence Reaver already completed for Unified. This is going to be a teleport.
Teleport going to come out. It's going to be G4 joining in. River's caught in the pit. Now comes out the teleport, though, of Hanabi, and now Candy has locked down the rest of Nova. Call the Forge God comes on through. They're able to get the route onto Mixcross. Bullet time is there. Set jumps on in. Kaiwing gets taken on down, though, and then Mixcross is credited with the kill. G4, though, will find a kill in response. It's a 1-for-1.
Well, you look at that. The 5v5s are working out so well for Nova Esports. This is where they shine. This is what they want to do. The laning phase doesn't work out for them. If Rocky isn't just a huge monster that we expected him to be in the previous games, then they can aim for the 5v5s. They are built for it, except, you know, with a little bit Skarner for the pick composition.
And see, you got Candy, who tries to lock down the team. And, you know, it's a good idea from Talon, but then the ultimates are unfortunately not stacked appropriately. And it's up costing them. Pop has a big play here.
Pop had a really nice setup there for the bullet time, and everybody else is just quite low. Candy, though, was just out of position, probably trying to make a miracle flank. But Nova Esports is aware of Candy being right there, and therefore it was an easy collapse.
Still, though, there's some scaling here for Talon. That is going to be this Aphelios later on. Nova, though, find themselves a gold lead in the match, which is a good start for their way back into the victory. We'll see if they wish to continue that route, as it is going to be the Nashers picked up here for G4. Off that fight, so gets himself a little bit of a spike. Thing you got to worry about, though, is with an Ornn, you always have the ornaments that will come on later on in the game. especially on like an Aphelios, where Unified is just kind of being funneled all this farm on the map.
That's true. It's gonna really bite them later on for Nova Esports, as we were looking to see this Skarner pick to try and shut down Unified. But the plan was more on the top side of the area, a little bit more of an attempt in the mid lane. But with Candy with 3 kills, it's going to be a little bit difficult to force that for now.
For Nova, though, we do see that Rocky has himself a decent CS lead, so this Aatrox is starting to get a bit ahead and might be looking to cause some mayhem. So there is points of strength for Nova right now. So whether or not they fight in line, a good little vision like that gives them a lot of information and keeps them safe during pushes like this.
And that's the thing, they're also very well equipped with all the damage in the world, even in the form of pop on the set. So if Talon is not smart with how they pick their targets, they might get overrun by immense damage output coming from the composition of Nova.
The extra rush in the river. See Nova trying to hide, it seems. Let's see, though. Dragon is spotted by Talon. Going down. Call the Forge God is going to be used. It is secured over toward the side of Talon. Mixcross able to get himself a good bullet time there.
Wow.
Pop gets some damage. G4 goes in the back line. Candy is going to be isolated, but Unified is still very healthy, and he's able to find himself his first kill. It's a triple kill for Mixcross, but Unified is looking to hunt down all the squishy members. He decides not to advance forward. And Nova, they're able to find a fight with 3 members of Talon being taken down.
Everyone was so low at the end of the fight, and let's look at that again. So they used the brush to hide from Talon Esports while taking the Dragon. This is the time where they pull on the Oran Horn. Now, no steals whatsoever. Mixcross, again, that was a beautifully placed bullet time, and therefore it forced the Talon backline to zone out a little bit further behind. Rocky, in the meantime, dealt enough damage for Talon Esports to just try and retreat anyways. But everyone was just so low. Unified was untouched the whole time in that fight.
Yeah, unfortunately, you saw the guns that actually Unified had. He only had the chakrams as well as the long shot available. He ended up using the ultimate, but if it isn't the Infurium, if it isn't the black hole gun, it doesn't do as much as you would like during a team fight. He's good at like single target damage with the chakrams, but during the team fights, you'd rather see the Infurium and that flamethrower doing that massive burst. And if he had that, might have been a completely different fight for Talon.
True, it would have been a nice setup as everybody else from Talon Esports were also quite funneled in a single area. So, unfortunately, that is one of the exchanges that you get from Aphelios, I suppose, on this pick. Still going to be very painful later on. But in terms of AoE, big, massive AoE damage, of course, you gotta hand it to the Misfortune pick here on Mixcross.
And for Mixcross, getting a bunch of those kills, a triple kill, helps even out that gold disparity that was starting to form between the 2 carries, as he's now pretty much even when it comes on to the inventory. Unified, though, still going to be farming away, as that is usually the plan here for Talon, as Baron now joins us. As Talon look to position, try and get some wards down. Nova have actually set themselves up very nicely here.
Yep, and that's just going to be Kai Wing landing in the wards.
Uh-oh, G4, that's not where you want to be. A beautiful Tempered Fate, able to knock him down, and River picks up the kill, taking down G4.
Now that's the scary part. The setup coming from the Bard is just going to be an easy execution. You could also combo it with the Oran Horn as well. Let's take a look at that again. Kai Wing's going to put a ward there as G4 spots out that Bard, but this Tempered Fate, well placed. G4 tried to sidestep, but it's just going to be too late.
Yeah, hugging the wall there. Unfortunately, had nowhere to really run, and G4 tries to use the Emperor's Divide to survive, but 4 members of Talon dig their claws in and take down the Emperor.
Rocky, on the other hand, will continue this split push, already finished the Death Stance, and as well as the Black Cleaver. For Nova, they will be most likely waiting for the fights around the objectives. That has been their backup plan. Also for Rocky on the split push as well. Not going to be in the Renekton this time. It's going to be an Aatrox. So further into the game, he's definitely going to be useful and painful at the 5v5.
Candy now also finishing off his Banshees. Thing to note though, Hanabi now hitting level 13. can start sending out some ornaments as he continues to level. He already got the upgrade on himself for the Sunfire. So we'll see if they want to go ahead and upgrade to the Luden's Pulse, or maybe wait for Candy to go for the Rabadons, possibly.
That could be the path for Candy, especially we have seen a ton of bursts already from Talia.
Speaking of items, we see the Shirelias coming out for the Skarner. Instead of the Righteous Glory you usually see, opting to give move speed to the team, the squad.
That's interesting. I mean, usually we see like you pair it up with either Karma support so that everyone can just follow through with a reel in. Australia works as well. In the meantime, that's gonna be maximum Speedy Gonzalez kind of dealy. Predator Shirelia is in.
And he's working toward that Righteous Glory as well. So Ryan is going to be, he is the speed.
He is the speed.
He is the, what's the video? He's the fast.
He's the fast.
He's the fast. River though, just, you know, trying to see whether or not Nova are going to actually try and, you know, maybe react to that.
Well, at the moment, I'm excited to see the Skarner take off because we haven't really exactly seen the, you know, Skarner pick off at bot side. We saw that one with Hanabi. But this actually makes it more exciting because the more that the map is open, the more free reign Ryan would go. But at the same time, makes it difficult to make pickoffs because at this point of the game, this is where people group into 5.
You saw there, Talon have an idea that that ward was already placed. Maybe we're trying to see again whether or not Nova are going to check. Tempered Fate comes out. Unfortunately, missing the target by a little bit there, Kaiwing. So not going to have that ultimate now for about a minute or so.
Yeah, and it's quite difficult to catch them off guard, especially bottom lane in general, because, you know, Misfortune with the innate, you know, movement speed, and as well as Pop with the Dead Man's Plate right now. So it'll be a little bit tricky for Kaiwing to try and see if they can land a Tempered Fate. It has to be either CC'd, CC locked, so that Candy can lock in the combo.
See now though, G4 is even on items, picks up the Banshees for himself. Still kind of holding on to that lost chapter for a little bit of cooldown reduction.
QSS for the bot laners though, Unified and as well as Kaiwing. So this is what I would always fear when there's a Skarner on the opposition. It just really denies the potential pickoffs. And Candy, without that, would be the next target, I suppose. But your target is Unified. He will be the scary Aphelios later on.
Yeah, he's already up almost 70 CS. Sure, Mixed Cross was able to get a triple kill, but they're pretty much still even when it comes to items. And that is with the QSS tax being paid on the side of the Aphelios. Unified going to continue to push out the wave. Candy looking, possibly searching. Both teams don't care about the side lane pressure. Rocky's just going to keep on pushing the best he can in bot lane. Hanabi's here.
There's a ward in the red camp for a potential teleport for Rocky.
See if Rocky wishes to take it. Again, waiting. Tempered Fate is back once again. G4 going to get caught out. Candy is able to put down the wall. Pop tries to jump in, able to get the showstopper on the back line. Haymaker is there. Mixed Cross, though, completely hits nothing with his bullet time. Ryan, though, is able to pick up a kill in response. It's still a 1-for-1.
That's going to be a support trade for the mid lane, and I bet Talon Esports is going to be happy to take that one for themselves. And right now, Nova Esports, rather, we'll see what they get in exchange, because there's a wave building at bottom lane.
There we go. Bot lane starting to push up. Hanabi has to respond. Does still have teleport available. Unified. Just going to clear out the wave. Unfortunately, Drake is still 2 minutes from spawning. Baron is on the table, but even then, Nova just don't feel confident enough, even though they took down Candy. And Candy is a decent threat. He provides a lot of CC in the form of just terrain being put up like we saw there, so it forces a lot of summoners or a lot of dashes, a lot of mobility to be expended just to join in on the fight. Nova instead opt to play it safe and wait 90 seconds for the Ocean Drake.
Yeah, they most likely use the time to farm safely and probably establish vision actually on the river side, but I guess that's not the plan right now as oh yeah, actually we see a lot of deep vision coming from Nova Esports, so that is the exchange after getting that 1 kill over Candy.
You see here though, first Ornn upgrade off the Ornn is going to be Unified's Infinity Edge. So already starting to see a little bit of spike here and there. Now we've hit the 2 to 3 items coming online for Talon. This is where the comp really starts to shine. I think they're going to mainly kind of play the Hong Kong attitude way and wait for, I'm going to guess, the upgrade for Candy, and that's when we're going to start seeing this team become extremely aggressive.
And that's going to be the scary part for Nova Esports. They're running out of time. That is 3 QSSs already. 1 added to River. So what are your options now? Because if you get Hanabi, he's extra tanky. Candy is the only one left, basically. Candy is literally the only one left. If he gets a stopwatch, then it might be a little bit more difficult for
You actually
River.
saw there, Hanabi upgrading the Black Cleaver for River. So now we have 4 upgrades for Talon. Gold might be slightly in favor of Nova, but the efficiency for Talon is ridiculous at this point. Arguably, they'd be up 3,000 if they had gold value added to their total. G4, though. Look at that. Going to try and go for a Baron. This is Nova going to try and sneak this one away. As Talon,
They know.
a little bit late to the party, realizing something must be up here. Rocky, Ryan, and G4 have to back off as the tower was taken already by the side of Talon. Unified, pushing up a little far. Here we go, called Forge God though, going to come out, able to get the knock up onto Rocky. Rocky is just going to get taken down immediately. Bullet time though, decent amount of damage. Kaiwing though gets back over towards safety. River though finds the kill, and Unified is still very healthy during this fight, and that is the power of the Aphelios. Finds himself a triple kill, looking for the Quadra, making a pentakill for Unified.
That's going to be the first ever pentakill we're going to have in the PCS, and on the Aphelios at that. What an amazing team fight coming from Talon Esports. What a game. Look at Hanabi tanking towers now and to get more value off that minions. And Talon, that's the biggest fight they've ever done, rather.
There you go. We saw the power of this Aphelios. If he's able to stay alive during the fight, if he's able to stay healthy, not get CC'd. He still has his QSS, by the way.
Wow.
It's still not actually on cooldown. He didn't even use it during that fight. Absolutely insane. And now Nova, it becomes, can you catch the Aphelios?
Can you catch the Aphelios? He has a lot of protection, a lot of peel, a lot of displacement coming from Talon as well. So now this is going to be a Baron on top of the additional dragon that they just got. And that's the 3rd dragon for them, which means the next fight is going to be crucial.
Let's go ahead and take another look at this fight. The engage from Hanabi to start things off.
This is Unified, so the only one who doesn't have any sort of protection or QSS is Candy. So Ryan immediately goes to Candy and pulls Candy in. Problem is, Unified was free hitting all along. Basically, free hit for days, clean up for Talon, pentakill for Unified.
By the way, still full health.
Yeah.
He only, I believe, had a Vamp Scepter at that point. So he didn't have all that life steal. No, he just did not get touched during that fight, as you saw. The bullet time came out from Mixed Cross. It got other members, but Unified, he didn't even care at that point. And just like that, it's Baron buff. It's Talon now knocking on the door of Nova.
This is going to be a tough defense. You do have that decent amount of wave clear in the form of the soldiers by G4, but anything else, you would have to expend a bullet time coming from Mixed Cross if you are desperately wanting to defend that tower. You would want to keep that for a potential play against Talon.
Oh, Tempered Fate not going to be there. Ryan trying to get over to safety, pops his Predator. You also see Unified. He's now completed his Bloodthirster on top of the Runans. He cashed out. He's only a couple, probably 1,000 gold away from full build once he upgrades the Scimitar. Has a full build Aphelios at 32 minutes per touch.
Oh dear. Again, Aphelios in the PCS. 100% win rate, by the way.
And that was the call here for Nova. It was pretty much, hey, we could have banned out the Senna, and that would have likely forced out Talon to have to ban out the Aphelios, but Talon They called the bluff. They said Mixcross doesn't play Aphelios, and Unified gets his pick of what is possibly the strongest champion in the game when it comes to the bot lane.
It is going to be a party for Talon, as Nova Esports will try to pick up the pieces here, with establishing vision over that last dragon that Talon Esports could potentially take to get the Dragon Soul. And now though, Talon, they're comfy. They've been winning all of these fights. They know that the Aphelios is online. There's no reason to fear. They'll bump into Rocky, but that's going to be a ruse. Not going to pursue that anytime soon.
Still though, Talon invading, get a bunch of vision down. Mind your 2 minutes, and it's going to be Ocean Drake and likely Soul available for Talon. Unified's already pressuring. He also has Infirm, which is perfect for any upcoming team fight, with chakrams as well. This is one of the situations when you're on Aphelios and you just don't want to auto-attack anything.
Yeah, you just want to keep that for later.
Can we also talk about this insane amount of farm Unified is stacked up? He's now Flame Horizon Mixcross. He's well over, I think it's close to 12 CS per minute. That's a 34-minute Aphelios at 400 CS. Absolutely insane.
And the ornaments add to it as well, so there's just a lot of value on that Aphelios right now in his inventory system. But right now, 1 minute to go for the next dragon to spawn. This could be the last stand for Nova Esports.
I have to wonder, what do you try and do here for Unified? He still has QSS available. There's still a decent amount of move speed that comes out of the Shrelias from Kaiwing on the Bard, so he can get a little bit of extra move speed during the fights. And your hard CC, you're pretty much hoping, all right, we try and get his cleanse off with Pop, and then maybe Ryan can get him.
Perhaps that could be the play. You could try sending Unified towards Nova Esports with a showstopper, perhaps. And he's so far into the backline, you would need either a teleport play coming from Rocky. But the vision coming from Talon just leaves no room for opportunity for Nova Esports to do that.
Oh, Talon looking. Doesn't get the right brush, as G4 will show. Things come out. 15 seconds on the Drake. Nova don't wish to give over the Ocean Soul. Talon, though, in such a prime position. And you look at the map right now, it is dark in that river. It is spooky. I swear, the Fiddlesticks rework is already on the rig, apparently. But here, Mose, I got something scarier for you. The Call of Forge God does not connect for Hanabi.
Pop
that is a possibility. Pop is looking, but you see how big that shield is on Unified.
Still, though, chunk of damage still onto Pop, despite having full of items to increase his tankiness. Candy's just right there, lying in wait.
We'll see. Candy blocks off the entrance here for Nova. Nova are very separated. Unified, though, is already godlike. Pop is going to try and bring him on back, but he doesn't care. It's another double kill for Unified, and he's looking to hunt down G4. Another triple, and it's a repeat of what I saw last time, as unfortunately for Nova, that looks like the nail in the coffin, as Hanabi teleports down to bot lane, and Talon goes mid.
40 seconds on the clock, more or less, Nova Esports to respond, and right now, that's a lot of death timers and a lot of damage from Talon to just keep pushing and end the game.
And you can see just how fast Unified can rip through these structures with the chakrams. And that is why the Aphelios, he might be bathed in moonlight, but he knows the way to the light overall. And like that, Talon come back like a phoenix and are able to finish off their week with a victory after falling so low as they take down Nova.
Yes, they did take down Nova, and what an explosive game. And look at Hanabi, all smiles even, coming from that match with, you know, the Ornn once again being his comfort pick. And just, Aphelios was the name of the game, really. It was just no answer. I just can't believe it was open.
Yeah, it's pretty much Unified in lane going, oh, I can keep farming. Oh, no one's coming to gank me. Oh, I got a pentakill.
Yeah, I think not only was that the first pentakill, but I think that was the first ever almost having a 400 CS.
Oh, I think we've had over 400 CS before, but the rate, I think he hit it the fastest so far in the PCS.
Yeah, there you go.
Unified playing excellently on the champion. Needed to carry that game for Talon, and Easy does it.
Yeah, and even we see the Talia back-to-back after, we see the Resurgence game. And that is actually a really nice combo to pull off because, we see the Bard Tempered Fate just to combo with the Seismic Shove and just everything with all the shards. And it worked well. There's just a lot of combos to work with on, on Talon Esports' side.
Yeah, and like at that point when you're so far ahead and you can afford the QSS tax, it's just like, it feels bad.
Yeah.
And I'm not sold on the Skarner, sadly. Apologies, Captain Flowers. I don't believe in the Skarner pick, at least in the PCS, at least.
Yeah.
It's just not been. It's not been what we expected, and it might be just coming down to pathing issues or decision making when it comes to the players playing the champion. Because like Brian needs to be in that mid lane like 24/7. He can't be 2 levels down and not have a kill at least.
I think the trend for the PCS is all about these level 3 jungler players. But if you look at the other side of the spectrum, a lot of the PCS players also tried level 6, like the Nocturne and now the Skarner. So it's actually quite similar that it might be too late if you don't do anything in the map pre-level 6.
Maybe that is the answer for these junglers. Maybe that's the secret. Don't play gate-kept champions at level 6 that need ultimate to try and be useful, I guess, for the rest of the game. But going back here now for Talon, I think that is a much-needed win when it comes to your mental. They almost dropped to 0-4 on their weekend. That is scary, considering they were ranked 2 coming in. Now they have to refight their way up the standings as they drop down to around 4th or 5th as the Dragons overtake them, and so did Machi. Nova, on the other hand, there's still some work to do. There's still a possibility of playoffs, and I think they still have that in the back of their mind.
I think Nova just really wants to try on not just, pouring their resources at the top side of the map and try something else as a unit, as a team. But so far, it hasn't really been working for them. So therefore, at that point, it was more of, what do we do now after, drafting these for ourselves? There's not a lot of options for us when the late game comes.
Yeah, and of course, we're going to see the pentakill once again for Unified, as it was pretty.
It was just, Unified was untouched the whole time. And basically, Hanabi setting up for all of these CC to get that pentakill. And that is, congratulations, Unified. I think every AD carry in the PCS should be able to at least use Aphelios once. I think that should be like the rule. That
might be the rule here. And then I think we're going to go ahead and take a look over toward the final play here that allowed Talon to just seal away the deal. As you already saw those turrets go down, then Rocky's kind of zoned from this fight already.
Look at the chunk of damage if you just keep staying.
Yeah!
It's just ridiculous. Before you even try to enter the fight, you're chunked down already, and oh, yikes, even
he literally died from the other side of the screen. That was tragic. That's how infuriating it is to play against an Aphelios.
And that's the reason why it has been banned countless of times, except for certain moments. But with that said, Talon looking very solid, looking that they have recovered from the losses that they have experienced in the past few days in their run in the PCS. But now, I think they'll be happy with that, especially Unified taking off and getting a pentakill.
Yeah, I can guess who our MVP is going to be, but we'll get to that in a sec. You saw, though, Nova did find slight advantages in the midsection of that game. From the 15 to 30 minute mark, it was going their way. It was that pentakill that ended up just dropping their gold lead off a side of a cliff and into the hands of Talon.
And that was the point where you think that, okay, I think this is a bit too late to try to turn things around already, especially that during that point of the game, you will be banking a lot on the AD carry. You will be banking a lot on Mixed Cross to deal consistent damage and have amazing bullet times. That last fight, I suppose that, garnered Unified that pentakill, the bullet time didn't exactly hit anyone. Talon Esports backed out of that, and therefore that was crucial for Nova Esports at that time.
Yeah, Mixed Cross, he had a good fight in the early game.
Yeah.
I liked it. He got himself a triple kill. Unfortunately, team fights later in the game, usually matter a little bit more when you're a Misfortune, and unfortunately he just wasn't able to get his target. But say 28,000 damage, you know who's getting it. He has almost half the team's damage on that Aphelios, and he was doing it from across the rift.
Oh, poor Rocky. At the, like, near the mid lane, couldn't even get near, was zoned out.
That's a feel bad. It's literally like a 7v5. Because the turrets
The turret is
themselves
a
do so
champion.
much damage. And then Aphelios is like, oh yeah, free damage from far away. Yeah, I love it.
Oh dear.
But again, congratulations on over to Unified for picking up our first Penta. As it's great to see that, and that's why you ban Aphelios.
That's why you ban Aphelios.
Get it out.
Still 100%.
Find a bug. We're sneaky. We need bug catcher sneaky to figure out what bug they can do to get rid of this darn champion and disable him in competitive. But I think you blame a bit of it on the draft. I think you also blame a bit of it on the execution of the early game for.
Yeah, agreed. Like, I feel like there was more, could have been shutting down Unified earlier on, but I guess it was going to be too late already.
Yeah, and with that being said, our night of League of Legends does not come to an end. We're going to go ahead and take a short break, and we get your bonus Game 7 of J-Team taking on Liab.